All right, you're not gonna like this advice. You need to stop selling websites. You need to stop selling pay-per-click. You need to stop selling Facebook ads. You need to stop selling reviews. You need to stop selling it all because you need to sell customer activity instead. This is one of the big breakthroughs I had in building my agency. If you're selling websites, there's only so many people that woke up this morning and said, you know what, a website could bring me more customer activity. I want that. There's only so many people that woke up this morning and said, you know what, Facebook ads or reviews or pay-per-click, those things, SEO, those things will bring me more customer activity. It's true that there are some people in your market that understand that websites and all these services will translate into customer activity, but don't leave that up to chance. I found that the more times that I was actually able to help a client understand how the services that I offer translate into customer activity, that's when the light bulbs went off, and that's what made the sale way easier. You're leaving it up to chance if you're expecting your client to understand how these things actually make a difference. And you might be sitting there thinking, well, of course they do. That's what I do. Doesn't everybody know that? No, they don't. And that's what your competitors are doing. They're selling to the people who already know how it works. Well, I'll tell you what, there's only a small fraction of people out there that actually understand this principle. And when you get good at explaining to people how your services actually influence customer activity, and don't overthink it, like you just need to help them draw the dots, connect the dots together so that way they can understand that those two things are true. If you leave it up to chance, you're going to lose more sales. But when you connect the dots for those clients, that's when more sales come in. That's when you'll be able to tap into the bigger percentage of the population who just doesn't really get it, and they need you to explain it to them. So here's a dirty little secret. I love selling low-priced digital marketing services. Now that might sound crazy because you know that I preach selling high-ticket recurring revenue services to your clients and teach how to do that. Now, what I see agencies doing is they'll go out there and they're just kind of like glorified order takers. The client comes to them and they say, hey, I need a website, or hey, you do Facebook ads, right? Can you help me with that? And they say, I sure can. And they whip out their order pad and start taking the order and say, all right, here we go. Here's the price. And they hand it over. And then they wonder why the client doesn't hire them or ghosts them. And this is something that really just bothered me for a long time because I used to be that order taker. What I do now is I give options. So rather than just taking the order and saying, here's the thing that you asked for, my job is kind of like being a doctor. It's kind of like, listening to what the issues and the pain points are with this business, so that way I can give them something that they actually need versus what they came for. So I see agency owners get super bummed when, a client buys the low end product, right? They're like, gosh, it doesn't really make a big difference for me. I wish that they would just buy bigger ticket stuff. So what they end up doing is rather than giving options, they just give something that's enough of a price point where they would feel excited if the client says yes. So the reason why I don't have that same feeling is specifically because I have a process for upselling somebody who buys the low ticket thing. Now, if I didn't have a process to take someone who buys the low ticket offer and actually send them through the other things that we could buy, I would feel the same way. Like I would feel the same way that I'd be like, dang, they just bought the low end thing and like I don't want to do that again. So rather than taking your proposals and being just like a very one track option where you're only giving that client the option to buy like the high ticket thing, and it's like buy or die, buy this thing or go away. Give them those options, like give them several things that they could choose from based off of not just what they came to you for, but what they actually need to succeed. And what you'll find is the clients that are ready to buy the big stuff will buy the big stuff. The ones that aren't will buy the small stuff. And some people, they're gonna go the middle of the road and they're gonna pick that middle package. Now, the reason why I don't mind when a client buys the low ticket stuff is because I have a very specific process to ascend them. But most agencies just totally ignore this part. I know that within 30 days, I'm gonna be able to get back in front of them to share with them the other things that I do. If you wanna take a peek at my sales process of how I take someone, even if they start at the low end, and how I graduate them to the higher ticket stuff, then around this video, you'll see the option to grab a copy of that or check for the link in the description. Now, don't be bummed when a client buys the low end stuff. When you have a process and a system to follow through and actually get them to buy the other things, that's when life changes. This is something that you can implement in your business and make sure that your clients are buying all your stuff and continually growing the relationship with you. In this video, I'm going to share with you why SEO audits might be the wrong way to attract clients and what to do instead. It sounds like a really appealing way to get clients, right? Run the client site through one of those automated SEO checkers, share the report with your potential client, and show them how bad their site is performing. Plus, if they're working with an SEO already, they'll finally see that they're wasting their money and give it to you instead. Perfect plan, right? I don't think so. If you've been caught up in thinking this way and you've got massive visions of that automated tool running all day and night and all that cash raining down from the sky, I understand. On paper, it makes total sense. Now, there's endless supply of bad sites out there, and clients want better SEO rankings. Clients might already be paying someone for mediocre results, and clients don't want to waste their money. So you just have to show them that there's a problem and that you can help them out, right? You'll look like the all-star. Well, in my experience, that never works out, and if it does, it's super rare, and here's why. If you're going to use an SEO audit, you've got to change your approach if you're going to have any chance of getting their attention, let alone earning their business. When you start sending SEO audits to potential clients, it either comes across as scammy or overly technical with the intent to confuse. Neither of these things is going to result in someone thanking you for the audit and hiring you. Why is that? You've ignored the fact that you have exactly zero relationship with this potential client and there's no trust. What you've done is the equivalent of asking someone to marry you 10 minutes after you've met them at the bar. It's charming at best and more likely very creepy. Here's what to do instead. Ask permission. You can say something like, I have an automatic tool that does a deep dive on your website's SEO and spots issues that might currently be preventing you from getting better exposure on Google. I wanted to see if you'd be okay with me running it on your site. There's nothing you need to do, there's no cost, and I'll share the results with you. I'm doing this for people I think I can help at the chance that if they see value in the report, that it might lead into a conversation about how I can help. But if not, that's okay too. Just reply back and say yes, and I'll get started. Pretty simple, right? It works because you're not being creepy, you're acknowledging all the reasons that might cause an objection, and you're being clear about your true intentions. The beautiful thing is that the same script works even better on people that you already know, even just a little bit. At the end of the day, I believe that marketing is about being a real human being. It can be fun and exciting to dream about how these tools can automate lead generation and client sales for us. But if that was ever a real way to get clients, it isn't anymore. But the good news is that you can still use these automated tools and reports with clients as a great way to attract them into sales conversations. You just need to remember that you're a human and not a robot.